What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Halftime with Bizzy. Sunday marks the 1-year anniversary of the podcast. Me creating the channel, not the first episode, but absolutely incredible. We'll touch a little bit more on that on next Friday and kind of do a quick little recap or whatever. And I don't know. It's too much to put into words right now. Anyways, we're talking about today's episode for now. We have Svetlana, or as she most notably goes by, Svet. And, she is an incredible artist. She brings a lot of the skins from CS and brings them to real life. She's done print stream shoes, Howl shoes, Asimov shoes, IRL charms, patch. She does everything. So we got in touch with her, and today's podcast is going to be a little bit different. And, we're going to go with the Lily Q or the Sumo Mafia style, narrating for this. I know it's not typically what I like to do, and I know you guys probably prefer to watch or listen to an actual episode of, two people talking back and forth, but I like to try to accommodate as best as I can to people who may not have a microphone or don't want to use their voice or whatever. But in this case, Svet is from Belarus, so we had to do a lot of translations, so I just wanted to accommodate it anyways because she's incredible work. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for almost 1 year of the podcast. Absolutely gnarly. We're going to get right into things though, guys. You enjoyed today's episode. We'll catch you guys on the outro, and thank you all very much for tapping into today's episode. I start off the podcast by saying greetings. Thank you so much for doing the podcast despite English not being your first language. I think that the majority of the people watching this are well aware of what you do, but let's start things off with how you got into Counter-Strike in the first place. Svet says as a child she loved to play games like GTA, Sims, NFS, and also CS 1.6. She would often play with her friends at computer clubs or at somebody's house. She was also into playing the GTA San Andreas multiplayer mod for a long time, and would also go over to CSGO from time to time. She said she wasn't a fan of CSGO at first, and she stopped playing it, but she returned in 2018. At some point she got acquainted with skins. She bought one, then bought a second. Eventually she wanted to buy a knife and then wanted to sell it, and she figured out that she could make money doing this, and that CS interested her much more than just playing with her friends. I asked Svetlana where her passion for art came from. Were you really big into creating art in school, growing up, or just as a hobby? What art were you mainly interested in when you were bringing your ideas to life? Svet told me that she's been drawing since her childhood, even before she went to school, and was always interested in art. She copied a lot of her favorite cartoons and drew many characters. Later, she went and studied at an art school for about 10 years, and after that, she entered an art college and received an art education degree. Svet says that art has literally followed her whole life, and later in life, she also managed to work as a teacher. She didn't draw your regular pictures. For the average person, she said they seemed creepy. This episode of Halftime with Bizzy is brought to you in part by Pricempire.com. Pricempire.com is absolutely loaded with essential tools for any skin enthusiast. Whether it be their blog, their price comparison app, the trending deals, or your personal inventory tracker, Price Empire really has it all. Pricempire.com is trusted by more than 1 million users on Trustpilot to ensure everybody that it is a fair and legit website. Pricempire.com is linked in the description. Go step your skins game up today. Next, I asked, when you were beginning to play Counter-Strike, were the skins kind of what got you interested in the first place, or was it the core gameplay that really grabbed you and the interest in skins came later? Svet said, of course, the opportunity to invest money and make some profit was a very funny concept, and skins kind of added an authority among other players, which also seemed very funny to her. She says, if we're talking about my favorite skins, everything always changes. Currently, I'm madly in love with the Overpass 2024 collection from the Armory Pass. I like almost all of the skins in that collection. Not a big fan of super expensive skins like the Dragon Lore, Howl, or any of the Ruby knives. I currently have a small set of case hardened skins I use, along with Hydro gloves, an AK, and a paracord knife. Next, I say a couple years ago you started recreating skins like the Wild Lotus, the Print Stream, Asimov, Howl, and many more on Jordans and Air Force Ones. Where did you get the idea to start bringing some of these skins from Counter-Strike to life, especially on sneakers of all things? That seems like it would be one of the more challenging pieces of artwork to do on any type of work, whether it be painting, airbrushing, or something else. She said that the idea came to her by complete chance. She purchased a pair of custom sneakers and didn't know that such a direction in art existed, and she happily wore these sneakers. She mentions that if it wasn't for her husband, this would have just remained an idea and nothing more. She studied the idea of custom shoes a little and was very interested in the direction. Initially thought about doing a customization in the style of anime or cartoons like The Simpsons, Family Guy, etc. She worked at a few different jobs such as a factory, a farm, and a catering establishment. She said she has to suffer a little bit to collect a certain amount of money and bring this idea to life. Her husband eventually suggested that she create something in the style of Counter-Strike skins, and the idea seemed dubious to her. They decided to check on the internet if anyone was doing this, and it turned out that only a few people had done something similar, but there really wasn't much cool work. And that's how we came across Dual X Toxic and his designs. Svet and her husband ended up contacting him and found out whether he makes these shoes or if they're just renders. Turns out he dreamt of creating these sneakers but didn't know how to do it. And from that moment on, they found several people willing to make the first orders. The very first pair was the Black Lotus, and they made it on their sneakers because they didn't have much money to buy a new pair, and the result could surprise many people. They got several more orders, and even more people became interested after that. Svet still wears her custom sneakers and puts new skins on sneakers, although she didn't initially think that this could be something that would interest people. About the difficulty, she says it is definitely much easier to paint a picture than to paint something on sneakers. You also have to be sure that the paint will stick well to the shoes, but just painting pictures is something anyone can do. But when it comes to doing something interesting on sneakers, it's a risk that not everyone will be daring enough to take. The idea of custom CS style sneakers came completely by accident. It wasn't like we saw them on someone and decided to recreate them. Before she started customizing, her and her husband didn't even follow the CS community, and that's maybe why they were able to make some money by investing in Stockholm 2021. I say Counter-Strike fans, including myself, are in love with seeing our favorite skins brought to life, especially in ways that are unique and very well done. When you started making these custom sneakers, what were some of the reactions you would get? Were people just absolutely in love with these products that you were making? Svet said that people were very surprised that these were actual sneakers and not just render art. Many people, especially on TikTok, did not even believe that these could be real. Quickly, the print stream became a favorite. Any post or video with the print stream sneakers immediately gets a lot of views and reactions from people. Why? I would have to think that's because this is now a classic. I say eventually you must be seeing continued interest from the Counter-Strike fans and see that these products are very popular. You end up branching out to other products such as custom controllers, airsoft guns, IRL charms, very quick after they release in the game, embroidered clothing, and also patches. When you branch out and expand with new products and new art designs that you might not be as familiar with, how do you approach new art that is new to you? Is it a big learning curve? She goes on to say that starting something new is interesting, but it's often difficult to find a client or community for it. For example, she had the same experience with creating custom airsoft guns. She had a hard time finding the first client and couldn't find a second client at all. As for the patches, this will be another joint project with my husband. Of course, we started with CS because the audience we have is from the CS community, but we were planning to do something more. It is difficult and risky considering that neither of us knew how to use it, but somehow we managed. Perhaps if our approach was more simplistic and we did not strive to do everything perfectly, it would be much easier work. I want to do the best embroidery possible. Sometimes you have to make several attempts to achieve the best result. I said I wanted to touch base specifically on your custom charms. You were so fast to create IRL charms, and I want to take a quick minute to talk about them. Obviously you don't have to give away your secrets, but how on earth did you come up with these IRL charms and manage to make the shape of them as well as the design to look exactly like they do in game? It's wild, and it looks like you just reached through your monitor, grabbed the charm from your inventory, and literally brought it to life. She says this idea also came to her spontaneously. She didn't have many orders and wanted to somehow surprise the community, and then she came across the new charms and immediately wanted to bring them to life. She quickly found a 3D printing master, gave him a file from the game, and he finished it so that it would be one-to-one, just as it looks in the game. The first charm made was the Diamond Dog, because he was the most simple charm. After that, I made the little monster charm, although people didn't seem to draw too much interest to him. Svet says that she really likes drawing them, and they're just incredible and cute. She doesn't make them for sale, as some might think, but as a gift for her special clients. I said your work has been seen across the world via social media and has caught the attention of many people, including the official CS2 Twitter account. When you were beginning your Counter-Strike inspired art journey, did you ever see yourself getting this big in the community? Svet humbly says she doesn't like to be called popular, she's just a small artist that has a fan base. She says of course it's very nice to see how big creators and figures in the scene like and even follow my social media profiles. It's very inspiring and shows me that I'm moving in the right direction. It's especially nice when my work gets noticed by the accounts of esports organizations or even the official CS account itself. It was a shock for me to see their reaction to the chicken charm I made. And yes, 2 years ago, I didn't imagine that I could make money off of my art or my drawings. Next I ask, what do you have next in store? Do you have any plans on continuing to expand your art and create more products and use other popular skins from the game? She says she's going to do projects as long as the community needs. In addition, the new collection of skins that are very beautiful, and she wants to recreate them all. She tries to come up with new projects every day, and one of the more recent projects she came up with is a custom $1 bill. It's very specific, but several people have ordered it. She says she would really like to expand to other branches of the gaming community outside of Counter-Strike, such as Dota 2 because they have very cool characters, or even some Pokemon themed art pieces. I asked about some of her artistic influences. Is there any special figures that inspired you to create art and continuously take your artistic abilities to the next level? She says, I wouldn't say that I'm a fan of any particular artist's paintings or work. However, one of the only people's work that she really adores is Tim Burton. She even has a tattoo of his initials on her arm. She says the paintings that she draws herself are somewhat similar to his style. She gets a lot of inspiration and techniques from Pinterest. As an artist, she can't 100% say that her custom sneakers are art, considering that she mostly recreates existing drawings, but it is definitely a complex and painstaking process. I said, well, that wraps everything up. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure getting to learn more about you and your work. Before we sign off, is there anything you'd like to let the people listening know? Do you have any special messages you'd like to give the audience? Svetlana ends with saying, it was nice to realize that you're actually interested in what I do. What do I want to say before signing off? Support people who do creative things with their own hands. It is incredibly difficult, and often we work on pure enthusiasm. Alrighty guys, we're back, and I mean, you've seen her work now, you've heard her story. If you didn't have respect for her before, I'm sure you got respect for her now. And you know, I'm gonna say it a million times, incredible, just absolutely gnarly. The stuff that she's accomplished and the things that she does it's just a one of a kind. And you know, that kind of passion and quality is something that, you know, the scene doesn't really have, I don't think, in terms of like IRL CS stuff. So I think she's got a lot that she's bringing to the table. And you know, when we look back at this about 5 years down the road, you know, she's going to be the OG of the IRL CS game. So incredible, and I'm very, very thrilled that, you know, we made this work today. We're going to be back to regular scheduled programming next week. We're going to be back to our traditional style episodes, two people talking back and forth, sharing their love about Counter-Strike. And yeah, you guys are going to enjoy it. I'm not going to spoil the episode yet, but you guys can go tap into @HalftimeCS on Twitter. The links are in the description right above Svet's links, which I suggest you go check out too. But thank you guys very much for another awesome episode. I appreciate each and every one of you that watch these and drop a like and drop a comment and subscribe to the channel. It does not go unnoticed. Much love, and we will catch you guys next week. Till next time.